Yo! What up, Thrashers? I'm back, and today I am going to be redoing my Persona non Grata video I did. This is another in my long list of redoing my old videos that I was dissatisfied with, and I've been playing for a while, and I relearned this song to sort of reteach myself and get myself back in the groove, and it's quite difficult, but it's exactly the medicine I needed for my weak joints from not playing for so long and coming back after a while. So if you're clicking on this video, I hope you're pretty damn good, because this song is not easy. Now, before you get into it, I just ask that if you watch the video all the way through and you enjoy it, hit the like button. If you are excited to see more sporadic uploads from me when I feel like coming back from hibernation every once in a while, then you can subscribe so you don't miss out. And leave comments in the video, either talking about Exodus and who your favorite guitar players in Exodus are, Gary or Rick or Lee Altus or whoever, or maybe suggesting other video topics that you want to see covered by me. Now, with that out of the way, the main lick, the one that gives everybody trouble. I'm going to break down the notes first, and then we'll get into the picking that Gary Holt uses. So this lick is a finger twister, starts with your middle finger, and you're in this sort of position here from frets 5 to 8. And you're going to be using all these notes as a chromatic lick, and it's very difficult. I'm going to play it at speed, and then slowly, right? So the notes you're playing in this order go as follows. You have your ring finger, then your pinky, and your pointer, and then you go back up to the pinky, and then middle, and then pointer. So you're going from a minor looking shape to a Phrygian looking shape really quickly. Now this will bust a lot of people up because people are not used to starting licks and motifs from these fingers. It's mostly you're starting with the pointer finger and you're going up and down for any little licks you do in riffs. So I recommend that if you aren't good with this skill yet, learn other songs that do similar things like this. I recommend the song Alice in Hell from Annihilator. There's a riff in there that starts with an open string and then goes to the pinky and then back up and down. That's good for finger independence, along with other guitar exercises that you could do, like the spider exercises and other things like that. Anyways, so you open with this lick, and the picking pattern is a down hammer, down up pull off. Down hammer, what is it? Down hammer, down up, down pull off. Right. Down hammer, down up, down pull off. And during that pull off, your right hand has time to reset to redo the pattern or change strings, which you do going from the D to the A for this opening lick and going down to the D. So you're carrying this pattern from the D string to the A string, and then you're position shifting, starting with this middle finger note here, we're on the low E on 5. So we're doing 5, 6, 3, 5 frets. And now you're going into this little motif at the bottom. And this is sort of like a bluesy, imagine in like an open, well, they're in D, so open D blues. And then into that pickup riff right there to get us back into it. So what is that? Quite simply, you're doing pull-offs from 1 to open on the A, and then muted chug 3 open on the E. And an open D power chord. And then on the A string, you're doing power chords from 5 to 7 for the pickup. And then you're into the main riff again for the verse. And that's a pain in the butt, but we're going to get through that right now. So, it's the same lick. You play it twice, and then 4 chugs on the low D, I guess. I hate talking in other tunings. I love to be in the E standard, so talking like I'm stringed in D is confusing. So, this motif twice. So after doing it twice, then 4 chugs, then twice, and then 4 more chugs, you're going to then, soon after the fact, do it once, and then interrupt the ending of the second one with this little lick here. And I'm going to play this slowly so you can see it. It's on the D string, hammer on, pull off, up, pull off, right? So in total, see that little, I interrupted it? Like that, right? And now the next ones that you're doing after this are going to have chords on the D and A strings, power chords you're doing in between these repetitions. So then it's going to go. And then I'm doing another pickup lick that happens later. But what's happening is you're playing these licks twice, and then you're doing first fret, then open D, and then third, and then 6, and then just do an open D note, not a open D power chord, okay? So all together, front to back, now after this last repetition, you're going to do a quick little low E chug for half a second. It's Unplugged Joe here for a quick little cut in. I missed a riff because it wouldn't be a video with me in it without me missing a riff. Just really quick to amend this. You won't be doing a quick little open chug and then right into the verse riff like I'm about to say. You're actually doing this little pickup riff with low string chugs and then these chords on the A string going from 2, 3, 4, 5, and then you shoot into the verse riff like I'll show you. So just a quick little correction. Silly me, it happens. And then you have your verse riff that kicks off from that, I'm pretty sure. And the verse riff is pretty much just the same as everything that we've been doing, except after you do, and then one more of these, you get to that point in the riff, you'll hear this little pickup lick that I did a little bit of, I foreshadowed earlier, which is basically you're doing the same little interruption lick, and then you're continuing down chromatically there. We're thinking like a blues scale with your major third as well. So like a Mixolydian pentatonic or whatever, dominant pentatonic, whatever you want to call it. But you're doing this little lick here. That's for the your voice brings me to rage, I can't stand the thought of you, right? That lick, that's what's happening during the chorus. So after your verses, which were what we went over, you get into this little pickup lick that brings you into the chorus. And then in the chorus, you do repetitions of the opening intro lick to get you back into the chorus again. And then you're doing this other pickup riff to get you back into the verse. It goes as follows. I think it's happening with fourths, I believe. Or those could be bass notes that I'm misinterpreting as fourths. So this pickup riff that gets you back into the verse, that's what I imagine it as. So you're doing power chords and then fourths. Got it? And then you're back into the verse riff. You know, all that jazz that I showed you earlier before. And then it happens again, all the same stuff, the verse and then the little chorus riff, your voice brings me to rage, blah, 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 right? That's all said and done. And then at the end of one of those, you get into a new riff. Into this one, which you've probably heard. Right? So this one's real fun. You're doing low E chugging, and then minor third intervals on the A string the whole time. and you're just doing hammer-ons. So you can have the right hand time to come back to do your low chug. And then during this last bit here, you have this little lick that nobody knows how to do. That little bit right there, where you have, what is that? That would be fret 8 on the A to the open D string. Also, one thing I forgot to mention, sorry, there's a break before this happens, and the break is that little riff, which I forgot to tell you. Happens with a D, you do 2 chugs, and then first fret of the low D string, and then I keep on saying D when I'm talking about the third lowest string. Sorry, but this one. You have ears, that open string comes after it, and then into a power chord. Okay, and then you do this. And then it goes into that bit and then into it again, but now you're hitting the open D with these. So you're doing these sort of like weird chords with the open D as a droning note. And then the little pickup bit that happens sometimes is this. 5th fret A string, and then 6/5 low. I'm going to call it the E even though it's the D. I'm tired of confusing those. And then the open, and then back to it. I'm pretty sure that's right. If not this, it's this. Going straight down, blues scale. Okay? And I believe that happens a couple times. I think maybe 4. That's usually how many times a part happens in a song before it changes. It's usually 4 times. That's a little cheat code if you didn't know that, because it's pretty obvious. Anyways, so this little bit happens, the bit and then the variation where it was just isolated on one string, and now we're doing it with a droning low E string, D string, but you know, I'm not going to call it that anymore. And then the structure after this, I'm pretty sure, I'm trying to recall, because then there's like 2 more other riffs that happen in the song, and usually I front to back it, so I'm trying to replay the song in my head to remember the riffs that come after this. I'm going to double check real quick. I'm actually going to give yourself a little break if you come this far. Pause the video for a minute, relearn what you've learned, and then I'll be back with you with the rest of it in just a second. All right, we're back. And I figured out where the song picks up. We do another version of the chorus or whatever, you know, the... Right? And now the pickup riff that comes after that leads back into verses. You remember the one... That thing with the fourths and the, you know... That one, right? Well, it's a fake out into this other riff that comes before the solo riff. So, this riff that we do now is this one. Right? So this riff is chromatic and it's all over the place, so I'm asking that you follow along and pay very close attention to the open parts and how many mutes and chugs we're doing. So it's this. So 3 to 4. And I'm having a hard time telling if they're chugging twice on 4, or once on 4 and once on 5, or twice on 5 before this next bit. So, I don't know, open up the little coin flipper or like a roulette wheel and put in the options of how many chugs you want to do and spin the wheel, and that's how many you'll do. Because I'm not going to tell you. You have to figure it out yourself, because the tone's too muddy to figure out the half-step difference. Anyway, I think my bet's on this one. 2 chugs, then power chord, and then slide. It's a slide, and then 2 hit to go back. Again. Then down. And then you go back up. to do it a second time. Again from the top. And now the tail. Watch that very closely. Right? So and then it repeats. And now we're in the solo riffs. So these are pretty fun. You have this sort of like a military style, you know, boot camp, hut soldier kind of groove. Open, mute, open, you know, like a little chug. And then this. So go into the tritone, then to the octave. And then the next time, you're doing a first fret, then to the fourth, and then to the third on the next string. To repeat, like this. Right? And when the solos switch from, I think it's Gary to Lee Altus, they change keys, and then they do the same thing they did almost. There's one key difference. Now starting on 2. Now instead of the tritone and then the octave, you go to the fifth and then the octave, I'm pretty sure. And it's the same thing with the open, 3, open, 5th away, okay, 2nd fret. Got it? Right? And then the pickup riff for the next section, you know this one. That one, it's a little complicated for some people. It took me a while to figure it out by ear, a couple months ago, a year ago, whenever it was. But I got it, and I'm going to give it to you. This is my little gift just for you, figuring out this part. So, every single one of these starts with a minor third distant, one of those moves. It's the same thing that we did during the other riffs, okay? And the notes you hit on the A string are same for 2 of them and different for the next 2, okay? So watch closely. Right? Very, very strange. Actually, it might be. No, it is this. It's okay. Yeah. Just double checking I got it right. So, you start this maneuver, and then you go a tritone away. You do the same thing next fret up. Then this one, the pinky note, and then the next one is back to being the tritone. Like follows. So it has this weird movement happening on the high part. Right? And then for the muted bit, it's just them muted and they're not doing the chugging pattern. Okay? And now the next riff. This is the one that goes into like a little moshy part or whatever. I guess you call it like a bridge of some sort. I don't know. Right? So that one, you're doing pull-offs and then low E string chugs. We're in D standard, I know. I've told you, I'm forgetting about the tuning. We're in D, but I'm saying E string, all right? So you're doing chugs in between each of these pull-offs. And then I believe for the time that they do it without the fast drums or whatever, he's doing pull-offs from 3 to open. Okay? After that. So it goes. And now it switches, starting with the high one. Right? So I think it goes like that. And then on the high switch, that's when they do the 3 to open. And then after that, they throw in this, right? So you have your opening lick and then your interruption lick. Right? And then you do it again. And now, when the fast drums come in, right, the like blast beat, almost, it's not really a blast beat, whatever it is, the fast drum beat. I don't know drums. I'm not a drummer. I'm above 70 IQ at least, so I'm not a drummer. So, for this part, when the fast drums come in, instead of doing a 3 to open, it's a 6 to 5. I'm pretty sure. Right? And then for the repetition bit, I think I do a 3 of those. And then the new riff. What is it? How did this one go now? I gotta remember this one. That's how it goes. So this one's like a slow. Gary's really going back to his roots with this one. This is like some, Sabbath style riff. So, watch slowly. It's totally Sabbath. That's just blues notes all around. Open 3, open 6, 5, 3. Don't forget the slide though. And now, open 3, 5, 3. And now the second repetition is weird. It's now on a 4. And then to open, and then chugging from 3, and then for that later ending bit, 1, and then back to open. So digga 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 do, right? Easy peasy lemon squeezy on that one. And then repeats, and now the tail end, I guess. That one's hard for some people to understand. So you're sliding 3-5, 3-4, 3-5, 3-4, and then open A and D, and then low E power chord. Right? Gary loves his open string madness, open string hammer-on stuff. Find it in I Am Abomination, Raise, Iconoclasm. One of those is going to be the next video, by the way. I'll let you pick and choose and guess which one's going to be the next one. Original, I mean, not redo from my old ones. Anywho, so this riff happens for a while, and it's the I something something you. It's the one where Zetro is doing his best impression of Elmo and also his best impression of Cookie Monster, and they're both singing at the same time. And I believe that's the last of it when it comes to original riffs in this song. I'm going to double check really quickly in case there's any more that might trip you up. But I'm pretty sure everything else is just what we've done before with the bridge riff and then the all that stuff. And I'm playing it slightly faster because I can. I'm 90% sure all the rest are just the same riffs again. I'll check really quick, and if I come back, I'll either be telling you, oh, I missed something, or congratulations, you did it and you've learned all the riffs. So, uno momento, por favor. basically it. The ending only has like the bit we showed earlier happening really fast, and then they do almost like the ending of the Metalocalypse opening or whatever, with just the muted open Ds or whatever. Kind of reminds me of the Metalocalypse opening. It's like a bam, 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 but that's 1 to 5 or whatever. It's like. And that's, that's neither here nor there. But that's it. You did it. Gotten all the way to the end. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope this was clear and concise and not as low qual and scatterbrained as my other one, because that was when I was still struggling to even learn the damn thing. But as you can see, I got it down pat. I'm pretty good at it, and I hope you will be too after watching this, because if you can't, then you're getting outplayed by a guy in his 60s. So yeah, if Gary Holt plays better than you, and you have a problem with people who are older than you being better than you, you should be mad. I'm not, because I'm just fine. However, I do have a problem with people who are younger than me being better than me. All those like little Taiwanese children or whatever, the Asian kids who are like crazy good. You ever see those? That's funny. But yeah, depending on what age you hate the most, whichever one you think has the better guitar players and shouldn't, you're gonna either be really happy you can play this because now you're no longer frowned upon for being outplayed by Grandpa, or not. No disrespect to Gary though, he's awesome. All right. That's it. I hope you enjoyed. As always, listen to metal, play metal, be metal. Here's a pick. It fell on the floor. You didn't catch it. Butterfingers. Anyways, I'll see you guys in the next video, which will either be a technique ranty style thing, something somebody comments in one of these videos, or that new Exodus song that not new as in newly released, but the new one that I'm going to teach you sometime soon. So, peace.